Happy Sunday, everyone. I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. All right, I actually have a few minutes to kill. A little bit on the bored side, so I was actually going to make this for an upload Monday, but I thought, hey, you know what? Why not do it for Sunday? So what time is it? Oh, we're hitting about 4:30 or so. So before I go run my errands, this is pretty short. Just is a gal that trending right now on TikTok. Trending right now. Not a whole lot of explanation needs to be said, but she's apparently a little bit frustrated in her job search. Now, this is trending quite a bit because obviously looking at her appearance, she has a lot of tattoos on her. And so I'm just going to provide some commentary on her thoughts here. Okay, here we go.
So I wanted to come on here and talk about something that is really starting to annoy me. So I applied for a job at TJ Maxx a few weeks ago and they denied my application. They couldn't even call me. They just sent me some automated email. So I went in.
Now, first off, it's not uncommon to get automated email. Okay. Lots and lots of people, probably most applicants get automated emails, so I don't consider that discriminatory in any way because we all get them. All right. If you're thinking you're going to get a personal phone call and all of that stuff, that is very, very unlikely. Also, her appearance, well, that's personal to her and the way she wishes to look. One must accept that when you get permanent tattoos on you from spider, it looks like a spider on the neck sticking its tongue out or something like that. Okay. But, what is that saying? You are free to live the way you want, something along that lines, but you need to accept the consequences. Okay, both from a legal, social, standpoint. I'm assuming when she got these tattoos that she already knew the consequences. And she has about 3 videos that she did on this, and I'm just going to play them on here. But I'm assuming that she knew these tattoos exist, that there would be an issue with the tattoos and her employment.
In today and I was like, so what was the reason I didn't get hired?
Because the store doesn't want customers focusing on you. Now, I think she said it was either TJ Maxx or Marshalls. I think she said TJ Maxx. Look, there is something that I think we all have to accept, and that is, our appearance. We can look the way we want, but we have to accept that if someone else has the look that business wants, that other person's going to get it. The more edgy, the more out of social norms you go with your looks, don't expect that people are going to want to hire you, no matter how nice you may be. She would be awesome for a tattoo place. That would be the most likely spot. Now, could she use makeup, cover it up and all that? I'm sure she absolutely could. They have makeup today that, she could cover all of that if she wanted to. It's a choice.
And she was like, oh, like, you just, like, don't have enough experience. There was candidates that had, like, more experience than you.
And that's probably true. And perhaps, I understand stores don't want to get sued, but perhaps it could be something as simple as you don't have enough experience in social presentation skills. I've watched a number of videos, from, people who want to have their own individual style, to heck with what everybody else wants. And that is fine to have that attitude. It is. Just accept the consequences of it. Okay. Like I said, the more edgy you go, the less from middle range society you go. Okay. Expect there to be increasing amount of problems. I could not go to school like this. It wouldn't matter how great of a teacher I was. It would be simply too distracting. And I'll be quite honest, depending upon the age of the kids, it might even scare them. But that's another story.
And, I asked her if it was about my tattoos, obviously, because I know a lot of places don't like tattoos.
So she did this knowing, so she accepts the consequences. Okay, she already knows what the problem is.
Said that wasn't the reason. I don't feel like that's true, but whatever, I'll leave it at that. So I'm just wondering how, like, teenagers and young adults who haven't had a job before, how are they supposed to get employed if these places are only hiring people with experience. So younger people just can't get a job because they haven't worked enough.
Young people get jobs all the time. Publix, at least out here in Florida, Publix is very popular. It's a grocery store out here. Working at TJ Maxx and Marshalls, they get these jobs, but there is still a certain level of professionalism. Being professional, looking professional is not a curse word. I know some people seem to treat it like you tell someone you need to look professional. It's like, fire and hell, brimstones amongst you. There's nothing. Being professional will never go out of style as far as I'm concerned. Looking professional, okay? When you're trying to get a job. Now, somebody on TikTok the other day did mention that I wear my kitty headphones, which I wear a lot. Yes, but when I and the comment was really great. It was like, "Ma'am, you're wearing kitty headphones." So I actually thought the comment was pretty funny. But let's get real. I'm not applying for a job. I'm established in my job, all right? And I have a presentation that can go from cutesy kitty headphones all the way to professional. So I've got that range. She seems like a very nice person, but her appearance, as it is from the bull, I think it's had the bull nose ring or whatever. Okay. This isn't what people want to have in front of their business, and it's their right. And you can battle it, you can challenge it. More power to you if you wish to do that. Okay. But like they say, just accept the consequences. If I, it'd be one thing for me to show up with a little baby nose ring. Okay, I guarantee you that would not be a problem at work. But if I showed up with a full face tattoo, a bull nose ring, I'd probably get a little, Carrie, can we do something about it here? Because there comes a point where it's just simply distracting. They don't want the customer service person to be the focus of the business. They want the merchandise they're selling to be the focus.
So, like, they'll deny a 16-year-old a job because they don't have enough work experience. Like, it just.
Well, of course they can. Of course they can. But most 16-year-olds are able to get jobs. It's been proven through history. All right. They can get jobs even younger than that if the state allows it. So she shouldn't be using the way she looks and appears and try to compare it to all 16-year-olds. Okay. Of course, 16-year-olds get denied for jobs, but they also get accepted a lot of jobs, entry-level jobs. Put the clothes on the rack, space out the hangers evenly. When I worked at one store, it's just a part-time job. It had to be 2 fingers and a hanger on one side and the hanger on the other. There should be 2 fingers apart. And that's how they got the hangers to all look evenly spaced until some ding-dong came along and went, I need to see what the sale is. Boom, moved all the hangers over. It was endless. It was endless.
It just doesn't make any sense to me.
It makes total sense to me. I got a job at 16 with no experience. Lots of people get jobs at 16 with no experience.
I mean, I do okay with money as is, so I didn't need the job, but I would have liked it to have made some extra money so I could pay off my debt quicker.
Okay, so in other words, you needed the job. You needed the job so you could pay off debt. Just because you can manage your debt, okay? It's like we've talked about it on my channel, have we not, family? A high credit score, as we know, doesn't mean your money is in control. It just means you're really good at managing your money. So she may not need a job, but that doesn't mean she's debt free and all is good and balanced.
I want you guys to talk about in the comments what it's been like for you finding a job recently, like if it's been easy or if it's been difficult, and I want to know what kind of experience you guys have, because I want to see if I'm the only person that's experiencing this right now or not.
No, she's clearly not the only person experiencing it. And as a teacher in my 18th year, I'm finishing my 18th year of teaching. Obviously, I've been out of the job market for a while. But one thing about being an educator dealing with students, you always have a pulse. And of course, I know what's going on in the job market. Okay. But if she's having difficulty, those difficulties are the same thing that all the other job applicants are having. But her difficulty is voluntarily compounded by her appearance.
Not. And, I hate that my tattoos are such a defining factor for me getting a job or not.
But it is. It is a defining factor. There have been lawsuits over the way people wear their hair. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose. Students have sued schools because, a student wants to look a certain way. Restaurants have been sued because they want to hire certain type of people. You have to pick your battles. Look the way you want to look. It is fine. The fact that she looks like this, fine with me. I don't have a problem with it. Not from an arm's length distance. If somebody said, do I want it on me? No, I do not want it on me. That's just a personal choice. But if she wants it on her, hey, what she does in her life doesn't affect me. But she needs to understand, and I'm sure she's old enough to understand that, hey, you can sit there and you can say, I don't understand, I don't understand why to be a Victoria's Secret model, I have to be about 5'9". I don't understand why, I'm 5'2" personally. Okay, I'm 5'2". Why can't I be a model? Because it doesn't match what they want.
Like, just because I have tattoos doesn't mean I'm not going to be a good worker.
And just because I'm not 5'9" doesn't mean I won't be a hardworking little 5'2" model.
I do not understand that at all.
Actually, it is understandable. You may not want to admit that it's understandable, but it's really not that complicated. It's really not.
Because quite literally some of the most smart, intelligent people I've ever met are people with tattoos and piercings.
Why, thank you, because I have a tattoo also. Where's my tattoo? I have a tattoo on here somewhere, don't I? Maybe I got the wrong arm. I have a I know I have a tattoo, people. Yeah, see, I got a tattoo also. Right in this area right there, tattoo. All right. So I take that as a compliment. Thank you. That means I am smart and intelligent. Some of the most smart, intelligent people she knows have tattoos. I have one too.
I could be wrong, but I've seen that in Europe, people with tattoos and piercings can get jobs
But we're not in Europe. We're in the United States. We can't live our life. I mean, if I go certain parts of the Aborigines is it in Australia, I can't show up to work with the fig leaf around my, legs and say, but it works in the depths of Australia out with the Aborigines. I can't do that, right? We can't build our social network, from one country to another and then wonder, why does it not work? Because you're not in that place. I hope that made sense. All right. So she's like, but I don't understand how come it works in Europe but doesn't work over here, because we ain't in Europe.
Way easier there. So why?
Then move there. If it's really easier, it's the life you want to live, you feel that it's more accepting, you go there. And you can keep your U.S. citizenship at the same time. You can become one of those dual nation people. Okay.
Why is America not hopped on the bandwagon?
We are hopped on the bandwagon just fine. But if you were to poll most U.S. people, because we are in the United States, and said, hey, can I put a really big picture of a spider on my neck with its tongue sticking out? And can I tattoo all over your face? And I say, no, thank you. It doesn't mean I'm not in with the times. It means I want to keep my professional job. I want to keep my ability open to make an income from various sources. I don't want to be, limited to only certain industries. A bank won't take me like that. A school won't take me like that. Okay. You might be able to get a job at a gym. They're just lax enough. Okay. But it's just because the majority of people don't want it doesn't mean those people are out of touch or we're not hip or whatever.
Another thing too is all these places, they say that they're hiring, but I feel like they're not.
Now, she's got a good point here. She has a point there. There are a lot of ghost applications right now, people. And that's where the job has either already been filled, but they're required to post it, or they're posting it just to keep their own, just so the employer keeps their own feelers out about what applicants are out there in case they want to hire someone in the future. So she's got a darn good point there, but that's not limited just to her.
Because I shop at all of these stores and I see hiring now signs, but those signs have been up for months.
Oh, and she's right. You can go to the, what is it? Marshall's down by where I'm at, just about a mile away. That sign's up there every weekend.
And I know plenty of people are looking for work. So how have they still not hired people? Sorry for the long ranting video, but I just feel like this
Rant away. You're at the right channel.
is something that needs to be talked about. It's so annoying. And for anyone that is looking for a job right now that is younger and doesn't have experience, I truly wish you the best of luck because it is very hard out here right now. Wow, it's not even 7 a.m. I woke up and read the comments on my video and I have a lot to say. You guys missed the point of that video entirely. I don't need that job at TJ Maxx.
Yes, you do need the job at TJ Maxx if you have debt to pay off. Maybe you don't need that specific job at TJ Maxx. Maybe your debt is manageable, but the fact is you have debt, so you need a job, but maybe not that job. I could be wrong. Maybe I just see it differently, and I'm willing to accept I might see it differently. She probably didn't need that job at TJ Maxx any more than I need to have my babysitting job after school.
Make plenty of money. If I didn't make enough money, I would not be able to afford a Dodge Challenger that has a almost $500 monthly payment. I have thousands of dollars worth of artwork on my body.
But that doesn't help when you go to apply at TJ Maxx and they say, no, thank you. We found somebody else more qualified.
Have $7,000 breast implants and I have about $3,000 of filler in my face.
TMI stands for too much info for those who may not know.
And it's crazy. It's like you need to have money.
How much was the bull ring? I think that's what it's called.
Money to do those things.
Yes, and a part-time job at TJ Maxx surely would help.
Just wanted the job to make more money because what's wrong with wanting to make more?
But she said by her own admission she's trying to get out of debt. Okay, I have a child care job to make more money. Well, technically family. I'm paying off my car. I've made the first of 6 to 7 payments. So I've made the first. So yeah, so even I technically need the job too.
More money. But, you know, I posted that video because I knew I was going to get exactly those kind of reactions.
I wish my TikTok channel could get that type of reaction. I put something up on TikTok yesterday, just on Saturday. And I mean, I'm talking, I think like, oh my gosh, 6 people wrote it. I was like, well, my channel's just booming. But if you put this up, knowing that this was going to be the reaction, and you covered your face, I don't care about the breast implants. Congratulations. Okay. May they serve you well. But you put it up knowing that was going to get that type of reaction. In other words, knowing that it might be inflammatory to some people. I don't find it inflammatory. Okay. But some people might, oh my God, this is horrible. Okay. But you put it up knowing it, then surely you understood when you got the tattoos that it's going to reject you from a whole lot of businesses. Like I said, the good thing is you can cover that up with makeup. It'll take a lot of makeup, but it can be covered so you can present yourself. Just don't sweat.
And there's people saying, oh, it's because of your satanic tattoos. So if it is about my satanic tattoos, that's religious discrimination.
Well, then I guess I'm religious. Then I must be a religious discriminator too. I would not hire you in this position, looking like this. Not even because I would have an issue with it, but I have to think in terms of would my customers have an issue? I personally don't care. Okay? I personally do not care whether she has tattoos or not. All right? But, and she says she doesn't care that she has them, but yet she seems to care. So perhaps maybe the blowback was just a little bit more than what she thought it might be. It's like a part of her says, I don't give a crap what society thinks, but then a part of her goes, I give a crap, so I'm going to put it up just to show I don't give a crap.
Which it's illegal to discriminate against.
No, 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 no. So people holding an opinion. I don't like face tattoos with a big tongue spider coming out of your neck, all over your face and the bull ring, and then you want to go apply to a professional job. Okay, somebody just saying that off the cuff, in every day, that to me is not discriminatory. And if you go and apply for a job and you cannot meet the qualifications of the job, I don't see how that's discriminatory. You would have, I think you would have a very hard time unless a company outright said, and most companies with good lawyers are not that stupid, okay, although there are a few, all right, are not just going to outright say that. It's just simply, we're sorry, we found another applicant that better meets the needs of the company. We'll keep your resume on file for any future positions that might open. And don't forget from time to time to keep checking our website, because see what the company is interested in. If the company is interested in self-promotion, the company is not interested in promoting you. But if they hire you looking like this, then it's almost like, where are we eating and what are we doing and what clothes are we buying? Oh yes, because we're too busy focused on the associate because the associate looks the way they do. And let's remember, folks, this is voluntarily looking like this. We are not talking a disability. We are not talking disfigurement, natural birth, car accidents, and something like that. That is a total different area, which I am vehemently against any sort of discrimination there. Okay. But we're talking, you voluntarily did this. So you open the doors to it, so to speak.
Someone based off of their religious beliefs, and appearance has nothing to do with work skills.
Yes, it does. We like to say it doesn't, but let's face it, folks, come on. We live in a society. Yeah, it does. Absolutely, it does. We don't like to believe it does, because it sounds nicer to say, oh, the way you look has nothing to do with your work skills. It will have a lot. It has a lot. Okay. Like I said, I'm 5'2". I'd love to be a model. I can turn and spin. Of course, you're going to have to learn too late that 56. All right. But, we like to, it makes people feel better when we say it doesn't have anything to do with looks and appearance, but it does. Okay. Appearance matters. Now, of course, there are certain jobs where a certain, level of appearance is going to matter more than others. But again, the more edgy your look, the more extreme your look becomes to what social norm is, the harder it's going to be for you to get a job. It's almost like she did this to herself. She knew the consequences and is now kind of like throwing it in people's faces saying, well, you're just being discriminatory now. Okay.
Other comments that I noticed is people said that I voted for Biden.
I don't care. That didn't even cross my mind. Who you vote for, don't vote for. I can't tell you to vote who you vote for, especially based on your appearance. That's immature. So I'll back her up on that.
I haven't voted before, and I would never vote for him. And people are like, oh, well, leave America. Once my husband is out of the military, that is our plan. But, since he has a military contract to serve out, we can't just leave quite yet. So funny, because it's always like older generations that say that younger people are the ones that get all triggered and stuff the most, when, I think it's quite literally the opposite.
Okay, so I guess I'm the older generation because I'm be 60 in 3 years. We get triggered. I don't think it's about the triggering. I think what it is, and of course, times change and stuff and things are different. Okay. But I think in this age of instant gratification, you have to also remember older people, things took longer to come to fruition. You know, packages took longer to get here, information took longer to find out. And everything today works on speed. Everything's quick, it's fast, information is fast, communication is fast. Okay. And I think what has happened, at least in my, you know, if I look at my life at 56, is a lot of young people don't understand. I'm not going to say all of them because it's by no means all, but a lot of young people haven't built endurance. In other words, if we think of, you know, from the time, let's say you graduate from college to the time you buy your first house, you may be in your 30s, and some people may even be in their 40s before they get a house. But instead, people graduate from college and that's like, boom, I want to get into my 6-figure house. Boom, I want to get into my 2-car garage. Boom, I want this. I want a 6-figure salary. Whereas people in our age group, there's nothing bad, good or bad about it, nothing right or wrong. But in our age group, we understood, you know, many people didn't get houses till they were in their 30s. When you got a job after college, you were still scraping it. You were still, you know, living in, you know, a little baby apartment. You know, we didn't graduate from college and go, okay, give me the dream house that's sitting in the nice part of town. You know, so it's just my thoughts on that.
And old people are in my comments saying that they're afraid of me. Good. I'm glad.
I might be considered an old person.
I don't want to be around you.
Then why'd you make this video? Because it's almost like you intentionally made the video to, is it be incendiary, to kind of like incite, right? I don't, if you were in my neighbor, you would not annoy me at all. Okay. How a person chooses to look, it's fine with me, whatever. As long as it doesn't affect me, that's all I care about. You know, it's like how I choose to look, how I choose to dress. Okay. As long as it's not encroaching on your territory. I think part of that may be in her head more than in reality. All right. And you have to remember, even the people in the, you know, my generation, you know, people, we were raised when, oh my God, coloring your hair was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe, does she or does she not color her hair? Perel shampoo. Okay.
Old people are quite literally the reason why the United States is in quite literal chaos right now. All of these politicians literally look like they're about to take their last breath.
I will admit, yeah, we got politicians that really need to retire. Yeah.
But so bottom line, everyone missed the whole point of that video. I don't need that job. I make enough money. So yeah.
You make enough money, but not enough money to get yourself out of debt. And I believe you said you wanted to put it towards debt. So if your goal is to become debt free, an extra job would definitely help. It doesn't have to be there, of course, at TJ Maxx, but it would definitely help.
I am going to go enjoy my day getting some Starbucks and shopping. So this is my husband, and yes, he has tattoos just like me, except for...
Let's all stop. We know what everyone has said that has seen this video. What's the difference, though? Exactly. The face, the neck. You know damn well if you're in the military, you will not get hired looking like she does. There is no way you're going to get that. Absolutely no, not today, not tomorrow, not ever. It's not happening.
For his face and neck. I think it's pretty self-explanatory.
Right. He's got tattoos where it's considered, you know, easy to cover up.
Where he found his job. So
she's actually cute, to be really honest. She's actually cute. I'd actually like to see her without the tattoos, but you know.
So, yeah, people with tattoos can get employed.
Well, of course people with tattoos get employed. I got a tattoo on my arm. Of course people with tattoos get employed. It's where the tattoo is. It's how edgy it is compared to what's normal middle of the range society, you know, can handle.
This is going to be the last video I make about the whole TJ Maxx situation. Like I said in one of my other videos, I feel like a lot of you guys missed the point of that video, like, entirely. I was not just talking about people with tattoos and piercings having a struggle finding work. I also talked about younger people who don't have job experience yet because they're 16 years old, getting denied jobs because they don't have experience.
Okay, if that's what she wanted, then she should have left the tattoo part out of it. But by bringing the tattoo part into the conversation, all right, and clearly that's the more interesting part, all right, it became a part of the conversation. Whereas if she just said, man, I've noticed that 16-year-olds are having a real hard time finding a job, yada, yada. But instead, she's like, well, I've got these tattoos and I wonder if this is part of it. I knew when I got it. I'm paraphrasing here. Then she should have not even brought up her tattoos. We'd be able to our conclusions would still be the same, but she'd have more legroom to stand on and say, I never discussed my tattoos.
Yes, I knew face and neck tattoos were going to make my job search a little difficult. You guys are acting like...
No, not a little difficult. Very, very difficult. Very difficult. Think of professional jobs. She would be best, like I said, go work for a tattoo place, go be self-employed. When I'm thinking of W-2 employee, somebody hiring, the military won't take her looking like this. Your own government won't take you looking like this. I don't believe so. I'm willing to put a paycheck on it. So that tells you something. Does that mean your military? That means your boss, that means your husband's employer is discriminatory. Right? Because she was saying earlier, didn't she say something to the effect of, if you don't like these tattoos and you wouldn't hire me because of it or something like that, then you're discriminatory? Well, then her own husband's employer, the federal government, is discriminatory. We can't pick and choose, okay, who's discriminatory. But she accepts that.
Like I didn't know that at all. I'm not trying to be a doctor, I'm not trying to be a lawyer, and I'm not trying to work for the federal government. I was trying to work for TJ Maxx, a retail store that pays minimum wage.
Yes. We get it.
And to all these people commenting on my videos, stitching my videos, being like, oh, I wouldn't hire you. I didn't ask you to hire me. I asked TJ Maxx to hire me.
But she forgets TJ Maxx is actually a person. TJ Maxx is just the name of a company. It's people behind it that are hiring. So in a way, she is asking us, because it's the everyday citizens that run TJ Maxx. She may not be asking me specifically, okay? Will you, Carrie Horn, hire me? But I, Carrie Horn, could work for TJ Maxx in a hiring position. So when she says, well, I didn't ask you, she's right. We have to stand behind her on that. She's right. She didn't ask you personally. She asked TJ Maxx, but TJ Maxx is just the name of an entity. She asked the people behind TJ Maxx. Who's standing behind TJ Maxx? Everyday people, probably somewhat in the conservative realm. I mean, look at what TJ Maxx sells, okay? All right? She has to think about the crowd. Think about what the products are that's being sold. Who is it being sold to? And who would be the type of people to work there? That's what it's about. So in a way, she was asking us to hire her. But I understand what she's saying. I get it. She's not asking us personally. But it's people like me that work at TJ Maxx, so to speak.
So I don't know why you even think that comment is relevant. But when these places are only paying minimum wage, I don't feel like they should have the right to be super picky about how people look.
Absolutely, they have the right to be super picky. I was told once, years ago when I worked at Wendy's, I was told once, if you can't do the small jobs correctly, how can we ask you to do the bigger jobs? And I remember a boss that I just really admired and respected. Yes, at a Wendy's fast food store in Eugene, Oregon on Willamette Street. Okay. I don't think it exists anymore. But, and I remember her telling me that, she's like, Carrie, she goes, if you got to do the little jobs really well. before we can give you the bigger jobs. So I was the best salad bar keeper decades ago, okay, 30, 40 years ago. Wendy's used to have an awesome salad bar, and it was my job to keep the ice all fresh and clean up any broccoli that had, landed on the ice, clean the ice thing. I mean, it was a load of work. Trust me, keeping a salad bar with 30 ingredients, all fresh, hopping and popping during dinner hour. And it didn't matter that it was a minimum wage job. Okay. But I knew that I had to be able to do that. If I can't do that, how can I command a classroom? Right. For 18 years in middle school to boot. Her saying that, because the job pays minimum wage, you don't have the right as an employer to determine how the person looks. Absolutely, you have the right. I don't care if you're self-employed. I don't care if it's a small home, if it's a small mom and pop business, if it's a corporation. Of course, you have the right to determine that.
I get that I have tattoos and piercings, but I have clothes that are acceptable for a job like that. I also have good hygiene. I take very...
Nobody's doubting that you don't shower and wash between your toes. Nobody is doubting that. In fact, with all those tattoos you've had over the years, I'm sure your hygiene is quite good because you don't want any infections coming, especially with every new tattoo and stuff. So I'm going to assume she's got top-notch hygiene. All right. Nobody's questioning, your Bath and Body Works supply purchases.
good care of my skin.
Like I said, she's actually cute. She really is, she's not unattractive at all. It's a shame this isn't like a removable tattoo. And again, that's just my opinion. I understand it's her body. She can do with it as she wish. So, my saying it's a shame, that's just my personal opinion. But I don't think she's actually unattractive.
I'd be an acceptable worker. And the people saying that kids would be scared of my tattoos and old ladies would be scared of my tattoos, honestly, get over yourself. Like, really?
I work with kids. We've all been kids. I'll be honest. When I was little, yeah, you would have scared me greatly. It is what it is. And telling kids to get over it, how are you going to tell a 2-year-old to get over it? You can't. It is what it is. There are YouTube videos of pranks gone wrong where a person in a supposed to be a friendly costume comes in, the poor kids are screaming. And sometimes a not so friendly costume.
Being scared of my tattoos is a you problem, not a me problem.
Right. And your employers have to consider that. So you want to go work at a school and you want to go work with elementary kids. The employer, the principal, has to ask themselves, how is this person going to resonate in front of students? Now, I know she's not applying to be a teacher, but just trying to make a point here. The principal can't just go, well, you know what? That's the third grader's problem. You're hired. The principal can't do that. I'm a third generation teacher. All right. The principal can't just do that. So to say it's a you problem, yeah, it is. But when you're being hired by somebody for pay, it goes beyond just a you problem. Now it becomes an organization, the face of the organization. Okay, the mission, the goals, the vision of the organization. Okay, it's no longer a you problem. It's easy to say it's a you problem.
And I have never seen kids scared of my tattoos. I've actually had kids come up to me in stores and stuff and say that they like my body work. But
not saying every kid's going to go running for the hills. All right. But in general, depending upon the type of industry or career she's going for, they're going to have to look at that. Just because it scares some people, we're not saying, oh yes, and everybody in third grade's going to go running for the hills. You're going to have that. You're going to have a group person think, oh wow, oh cool, that's really neat. But knowing what I was like as a kid, yeah, I would have been the one screaming for the hills.
Tattoos, piercings, colored hair does not equal less professionalism in the workplace.
It doesn't in behavior, but it does in appearance. It does when you're bringing customers in your corporation and you're trying to convince someone to purchase a product. The company has to look at who is the face of the organization. And this is the part that I think she's missing. Look at her husband. Her husband did not tattoo his face. Her husband did not tattoo his neck. He'd be out of a job real fast. He would be out of a job. So clearly all of these things that she's saying, okay, she can't say, look at what the outstanding husband is, yet he's following social norms. He's following mainstream protocol, but then call everybody else discriminatory that looks at her and goes, nah, not for us. Her husband is following mainstream. Does she not see that? Her husband is following the rules and regulations of his employer, the U.S. military. She can't just pick and choose certain groups, but forget that her husband is clearly one of them. He's following the normal, mainstream audience. Now, I would be duly impressed if her husband went ahead and got the equally face and neck tattoo, and together they protested and marched, all right, for tattoo freedom. I'd have a whole lot more respect then.
It does not define our work skills.
It doesn't define your work skills, but it does define who does the company want to put in front of customers. It's about the customer. It's not about, when I think of my job at my school, okay, it's not about me. When parents are like, oh, wait, come to your classroom. It's not my classroom. I am honored that I am given a classroom. I am honored that people trust me with their children. I am honored that my administration has faith that when their back is turned, I will do the right thing. I am honored that, I'm able to be in there, work with the kids all day, and nobody's sitting there going, oh my God, what do you think Carrie's doing next with the children? Okay, it's about the customers. The students are my customers. In essence, their parents are my customers. The school hires people. All right. I represent the school. She seems to think that this is all about hate towards her tattoos. It's actually not. That's at least not how I see it. I see it more as you have a company. Okay, it could be public, private, federal, state, city, whatever. Okay. The company has to think of their customer before they think of me, before they think of her. My school has to think of its customers before they think of me. You see what I mean, people? A restaurant that hires a hostess. Can she be hired as a hostess at a fine dining 5-star restaurant? It's not because we dislike the tattoos. I mean, yeah, tattoos aren't for me, but that's neither here nor there, okay? But it's because the restaurant has to think of the customer. That's what it's all about. And I think that's the one part she might be missing. It's not about her. She's projecting it as though it's about her. It's not about her. It's about the customers.
It does not define our work ethic. With all these stitches.
No. And my tattoo here doesn't define my work ethic either. And I don't think anyone says it does. But it does limit where you can go. Okay? It does limit it. And by her own admission, she knew this when she got the tattoos.
And duets I saw, you guys were just like bashing my appearance. Like, you guys did not even have any valid points, to be honest. I want to see a video that could somehow explain how people with tattoos, piercings, and colored hair cannot do their job. I would love to see that.
I stand by my case. Again, no one is saying that those people can't do the job. Look at her husband. He can do the job. But what'd he do? He followed mainstream society. She needs to see it because it's right in her own home. I could get a bull ring, a big old bull ring nose. I could get a couple of staples underneath my eyes, get a big old, I don't know, cobra neck tattoo. that make me any different of a teacher than I was yesterday? No. But might it affect how they see me in front of the customers? Yeah. Potentially, could it cause a problem? Yes. Nobody's saying that because you have these tattoos and other body art on you that it makes you less intelligent, less capable, or incapable of doing the job.
Tempted. And I get it. Not everyone's gonna like my tattoos. That's fine. It's not for everyone. But I shouldn't not be able to get a job because you don't like my tattoos.
I stand corrected on that. No, I disagree. What is it that I said earlier? What's that saying? Okay, you can do what you wish, just accept the consequences. All right? Nobody's saying you can't do it, but then you can't tell other people that they have to accept it. Again, we are not talking birth defects. We are not talking accidents and deformities from, life experiences. We are not talking that. That's totally different. We're talking, I voluntarily put a big old spider on my neck with its tongue sticking out. That's what it looks like. At least I could be wrong. Okay. I'm into this sort of look and this is what I want. No, people have the right to reject it. And it's okay if they reject it. All right. That's their choice. And if they're in the position to hire, they have the right to reject it if they believe that it's going to cause an issue with their customers. Again, I think she looks at this as too much about her. It's really about the customer.
If you guys actually picked up the Satanic Bible and read it, it's by Anton LaVey.
Do I need to say any more at this point?
There's nothing evil in that book. And I get there is some dark imagery with Satanism, like how this looks, the Baphomet on my chest, but none of it has actually evil meanings. And if you guys want me to, I can make a video explaining about what all of this.
All right, folks. This is 45 minutes. I'm going to go ahead. It's a little bit longer than I expected. So, because this last video I did not watch, but I will put a link to her TikTok page inside. But I just thought this was interesting. Kind of bored on a Sunday afternoon, so I'll go ahead and get this uploaded. It's hitting about 4 o'clock, time for me to go out and get a Pepsi. But just in closing, people have the right to look and dress the way they want, but you simply need to accept the consequences of it. The more mainstream, the more away from mainstream you go, the more edgy you get. Just accept it. That's all. Doesn't mean people are hating on you. Doesn't mean it's discriminatory, especially when you do it knowing it. You know it. Like I said, I think she's actually kind of cute. Okay. So anyways, it is what it is. I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. I will be here tomorrow night for bedtime chit-chat story time. Usually I don't upload on the weekends, but every now and then I just got a little extra time and I kill it. I'm Carrie. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys tomorrow night right here at the computer deck around 7:30, 8 o'clock. Good night, everyone.